Stream. All right, we are live with probably like a 8-second delay.
Okay, cool.
That's my guess. Well, hello everyone. We'll give people some time to trickle in and just talk for a second. But this is very exciting because it's not only our Redwall Part 2, but we realize it's our 100th episode.
100th episode.
It's,
I'm so proud of us.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. I can't believe we've done this 100 times.
I know. And it doesn't at all feel like it, to be honest.
No. It's a weird combination of it having gone so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like so quickly, but also can't remember a time that I didn't chat to you on a Sunday, Alexis.
I know. Yes.
Like
yes.
It also feels like this has always been my life.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and even like I don't know, I'll like look back and be like, oh right, we did talk to that person like over a year ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't feel that long, but
it really doesn't. Time flies when you're having so much fun.
Yeah. And also thank you to everyone who listened for this long. That's crazy. That's
and it's crazy. It's wonderful. Everyone has been so supportive.
Mm-hmm.
All of our Max Fun members, everyone on the Discord.
Yeah.
We're truly so grateful to you.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Everybody sent a Ready Pet Go.
I just love getting messages from people. It's the nicest thing.
Love it. We've talked about it before, but there's something so validating about just being like, you're listening.
Yeah.
You heard what we said.
Like, honestly. And I feel like we both do jobs that like we're making like a thing, like some kind of art, and then it goes out into the world, and then that's it. And you're just like, are people good? Are people good with this? Is there any
good?
Hello?
So
it's just so nice to feel like connected to people doing this.
Yeah, 100%. That's cool. And then I for a while we were like, what do we were gonna do something else for the 100th. I remember we were like, maybe we'll have like Grant and Michael on or something. And then when it lined up to be this, we're like, oh, thank God, this is perfect.
Yeah, so perfect, absolutely perfect.
I need a bunch of boys.
Ew. They get enough of our attention.
Yes.
Joking, Grant, love you. Thank you so much for helping with all the tech.
Let's see. Okay. I'm just making sure this is working. And it is. We are live.
Good. Okay. I do have wine because it's our
oh my God
100th episode. I know it's quite early for you to drink.
Yeah, it's noon. I have a bubbly water, but
I asked Michael to get me a glass of wine, and he truly poured me the biggest glass. That's like a pint of wine. Not going to complain, but it's just quite funny.
That's really funny. Should I ask for wine?
Yeah, I think you should go summon some wine.
Grant, if you celebrating and you brought me some sort of wine, I wouldn't be mad. But we'll see what happens. It's a live stream. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna make my day weird, but that's fine.
While we're waiting, I have such a funny thing I wanted to read out. So
yes,
my friend Juno, friend of the pod, who's been on talking about her lovely cat Dusty, sent me this yesterday. She's staying with her family in Ireland, and she sent me a picture of her aunt's instructions for the dog sitter. It's so detailed, and I just found it hilarious, so I wanted to read it. So, meals. Breakfast, 1 blue scoop of kibble in either her sniffle mat, sniffle ball, or puzzle. Dinner, 3 heaped teaspoons of home-cooked or shop-bought wet food. Then it goes, there are 2 containers with dog food in the fridge and another 2 in the freezer. 1 container should last 3 to 4 days. Only use bought food if you forgot to defrost. Then snacks, chopped hot dogs on walks to distract if barky. A frozen Kong if you are going out to give her something to focus on. Smacko in the evenings for getting her hair brushed or settling her. This is honestly like a baby, like all the different things you give a baby to settle a baby.
The
Wine. We have
biggest glass of red
wine.
wine that anyone's
Also
ever
a
poured.
massive glass of wine. That's so funny. You can also give her a few treats in the sniffle ball or the toy on wheels to keep her busy. I think there is a bone in the freezer as well. A teaspoon of peanut butter or natural yogurt on the lick mat is also very good for calming her down. You can also add a teaspoon of Carmade to the peanut butter.
Oh my
Keep
God.
her on the lead for walks, unless using long orange lead in the park where no one or deer around, because it's Ireland, so it might just be deer around. Use command if you need to get her back, and make sure she's giving you good recall before letting her go on the orange lead. So detailed.
So
I love
much.
it. I love it so much. Like, it's so funny. Shout out to Juno and her auntie and the dog who's called Mia.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
No notes. Anytime I'm leaving people instructions for how to care for our pets, I feel like an insane person. I'm like, okay, before bed, they get half a greenie each, but like, Cricket's gonna run upstairs, but don't forget to carry Crumb. Like, it's just so many little things.
For sure.
But I don't think mine is quite that bad. It actually makes me feel good because I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, now I don't really leave instructions because it's just the same. It's just Anya who looks after basically, or my cousin Alice. That's fine. But yeah, certainly at the beginning, I was like, okay, so she can have these treats or these treats, but like shut the door after she has these treats because she gets excited and like all of these different stipulations. But that is definitely way more detailed than anything I've ever done.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Also, I think a lot of mine are more cautionary than like actual instructions. They're like, look, for some reason, if the litter box gets slightly too full, one of the cats is gonna just like poop on the bathroom floor. So don't panic. That's normal, I guess. It's just
totally,
you know, like, but it's like, I think less actual, like, here's what you do. Because I think that part is pretty, like, you know,
just keep them alive.
Keep them alive, yeah. And then, like, don't be scared when there's, like, random poops around or, like, whatever.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Sometimes it's not, you didn't do anything wrong.
You didn't do anything.
I did.
Sometimes pets poop. How often, actually, like, on this subject, do you change the litter tray? I know you have two cats, so... Do you have 2 litter trays or do you have more than 2 litter trays?
We have 2, but actually lately we've been like, I think we might need to change the system because Millie's been, like, she peed on a pile of clothes, which she's never done before. Maud used to do that when she was stressed, but so we might need to change the system. But yeah, currently it's like not a schedule. It's sort of just like we should be doing it more often than we are, but it's like when we need to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, because we started like we have, okay, there's 1 cat and 2 litter trays, so that's already like a really good ratio. Also, she has the clumping litter, so we refresh it quite frequently. But 2 litter trays, 1 cat, scooping daily, often twice a day, right? If we get to 6 days without doing a full refresh, clean, refresh litter, Percy's going to pee on the bed. 6 days. So like even pushing it for day 7. So if it's the weekend and it's Saturday and we're like, oh, we're really busy today, maybe should we, like, if we scoop it, it'll be fine till Sunday. No, she knows. So we've now just like, we're like, okay, we're going to just err on the side of caution.
So funny.
And go 5. But she's such a diva. She has 2 litter trays. I don't even have 2 toilets.
No.
You know?
Well, we do, but that's...
But you're humans. You know? We live in a 1 bathroom flat and our cat has 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the cats in my house want to make sure the bathroom ratio from human to animal is more equal. So we got to start.
To be fair, I think they just want it to be the same. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, they're campaigning for their rights.
I'm catching up on YouTube comments right now. And Emily just heard our promo 3 weeks ago and caught up to now last night. So
amazing,
incredible work, frankly.
Absolutely incredible.
And that Elizabeth said that our pet sitting instructions are super detailed, but it's like, this is where the food is located, here's where the meds are, and which meal they go in. Which, yeah, I feel like that's more the standard that I also like. Anyway.
Yeah. I just find it funny when people use the kind of language that you use with babies. Like this
Yes.
to settle her. This if she's fussing. This if she's having her hair combed. Like,
Yes.
you know.
Oh, should we show everyone that we have cake?
Yes, let's.
We got cake to celebrate our 100th birthday.
We did.
Show
your massive.
I got the
so
biggest
big.
chocolate cupcake in the world, I think.
How are you gonna? I'm so.
I brought a fork.
Do you have a fork?
Yeah. There's no. I thought about that. I was like, there's no. Especially knowing that people can watch me right now.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You'd have just had frosting all over your face.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I have, for UK people, you'll know what I'm about to present. This is a Colin caterpillar. Well, actually, it's a Frida caterpillar. So in the UK, as I explained to Alexis earlier, Colin the caterpillar is an institution.
Mm-hmm.
He is a chocolate caterpillar cake, and between the ages of like 0 and 13. And honestly, like I have adult friends that have had Collins lately. That is what you have as your birthday cake. He's delicious. He's quite easy to segment because you just cut him like that. Honestly, just an icon of all of our childhoods. Very nostalgic.
Yeah.
And now they do mini Collins, and then now Asda, which is a great supermarket, they do a Frida, which is free from chocolate, from dairy and nuts, which is excellent for me. So I have a little Frida caterpillar, which felt really on brand for the show.
Really cute.
How
big are the non-mini ones?
I think enough to. I think the serving size is like 12 to 8 people. So it's like a chunky caterpillar.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then you just
that's cute.
Really like almost like a Yule log is how I would describe it, but but year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Ella, I went to 2 stores and no one had what I wanted. Which was very it was like I'm just gonna get a cake, real casual, like this is such a silly thing. And then I was like, okay, this store doesn't have the slight cravings. So then I had to go to another store and they also didn't, but I was like, I can't go to 3 stores for this. So I settled for this, but I really wanted one of those like layered berry cakes where they're like berries and cream and custard and cake. But no one had that. Is it good? Yeah, I'll do a cake review.
It's so good. I'm glad that even though I'm sad you didn't get your berries, we both have chocolate. And that's enjoyable.
I am more of a chocolate person in general, but I just, you know.
Honestly, Alexis, I'll eat anything. Yeah. Anything I'm not allergic to. I'm the least fussy eater. I'm just a human hoover. Mm-hmm. I'll consume whatever you throw at me.
Well, it's good. Okay. This is a good choice. I also feel like that's really good because you have such specific allergies that it's nice that it's like, well, at least I can eat everything else.
Anything I'm not allergic to, I will eat. That's just, So, I love, these are delicious.
It was great.
Should we...
You want to talk about Redwall?
Should we talk about our book?
Yes.
There's so much to talk about, first of all.
Book 2 goes nuts.
It goes off. I kind of think we probably could have done We could probably have done a whole episode talking about chapters like 1 to 12 and then the rest of them. Yeah. Because a lot happens in...
I made notes this time because I was like, I can't... There's too much to talk about and I have to remember it.
I know. Where do you want to start? Where do we start?
Let's start, I guess, because my notes are like, you know, going by pages, so we can start towards the beginning, like earlier in book 2, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. That's all good with me.
Oh yes, I love that Elizabeth is also eating Girl Scout cookies. Emily has dark chocolate covered peanuts.
A Girl Scout. This is actually useful that this has come up because I have a question about it. Mm-hmm. So a Girl Scout cookies. I've just always wondered, can you not get those cookies in like supermarkets?
Mm-mm. No,
it's specific to Girl Scouts.
Yeah. Wow, every once in a while, a brand will try and make an imitation one, but it also feels kind of rude because, like, that's how Girl Scouts they're raising money for various, I don't know, Girl Scout things. I wasn't a Girl Scout. I wanted to be one, but I wasn't. But so like that's how they fund all of their things, like their little they go camping and do things, and so it's nice to support them.
Yeah, of course.
And also the cookies are good. So
yeah, I've heard this before that they're good. They're
really good.
I was like, do can you not just buy them otherwise?
Yeah,
Like, I always think of that Friends episode where Monica gets really addicted to the Girl Scout cookies.
Oh.
And I'm like, is there a shortage of like mint chocolate chip cookies or whatever in the US? But no, it's a specific brand that you get from the Girl Scouts, I see.
There's like, and they have like, people have their preferences too. Like, I feel like it's a very like, no, samosas are the best, or some people are like thin mints only, and like
thin mints. Yeah, these are the ones I've heard about. Yeah, I see. Cool.
But I like a lot of them. Nice. Anyway,
cool.
Redwall.
So, we've got quite a lot of Clooney content, haven't we?
Oh my god, so much Clooney.
There's a lot of Clooney.
I guess just to start, like, so much murder.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
I didn't remember that at all. That, like, so in my mind, it was more, you know, like, I don't know what a better comp is, but like, you know, the first few books of Harry Potter when it's like scary things happen, but no one dies. Like, I remembered it being more like that, especially because I read it so young. People be dying.
People be dying. And I think I was struck this book with just the constant reminder of these that are teeny little dudes. Like, a bad fall can kill someone.
Yeah.
Because they're tiny. Like, they're so frail. They're so, like, mortal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I was, because the first note I have is about Cheese Thief murdering Scrag. But do you have anything before that you wanted to discuss?
I mean, I just have like, baby squirrel is so adorable.
Oh my god, sucking
just
his
immediately
paw the whole time.
So little, so sweet. Just like silently leading him about. Like, love it. Yeah.
Well, I guess actually this is before. I didn't write it down. I guess overall I loved this book too. It really, book one was very fun, but I think like this, I kind of didn't get like fully sucked in until this book.
Yeah, we get it's just a lot of plot. It's quite pacey. It's very pacey.
Yeah.
Something's always happening.
Yeah. And also I finally found a good audiobook. It was just on Spotify. But it's not the main one that comes up. It's like the second one, and I'll give this reader a shout out. His name is Arion Bakare. Thank you, Arion. You've really saved me here, because it's just, I did have to speed it up because he reads quite slow, but it was nice to just have a normal. Nice. I was like, why are all of these crazy for different reasons? Like, one I found on YouTube that was okay, but it was way too dramatic.
I know, that's the guy that I've been listening to. He's so dramatic. It's funny how, like, he does quite good voices for the characters, but his narrator voice is so dramatic.
Yes.
But I find it quite enjoyable because listening to it at like 1.5, that level of drama is quite enjoyable.
Did you? I don't know if you remember this, but he narrates. The reason I actually couldn't listen to it is he reminds me. There's like this is like earlier internet. And I don't know if it was like viral everywhere, if just my friend group, but there was like a dramatic reading of a breakup letter that it was this like early YouTube viral video. And that's how the guy that reads the dramatic letter sounds. And it's very funny, but I like couldn't take this one seriously. Like it's very, the dramatic letter is like, I hate you. I've always hated you. I'd rather eat a spider or a rat than you. And it's like very like, it's like a kid that wrote it to, it's very silly. But so then because he sounds the same as that guy, I was like, I can't.
Fair. Yeah. I'll try your Spotify guide for book 3.
He's really good. Do you have to speed it up, but he's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of murder, lots of Clooney infighting. Like just, and I mean this is sort of throughout book 2, but Clooney just straight up like either killing people and being like, this is what happens when you don't listen to me, or people dying and Clooney being like, oh, well, not bothered.
No, not at all.
Also, he's so ruthless.
Didn't realize he had a poison tail.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh.
When he's just
whips it.
I know, it's so good. I love it. So what? I'm just thinking. Can we talk about the riddle?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, J.K. Rowling. I'm sorry. I am Tom Riddle. What is it? Tom Marvolo Riddle, yes. And then I am Lord Voldemort.
Yeah.
She stole that. She stole that from this.
She stole it. She stole it.
100%.
Because I'll also say, they're kind of equally bad.
They are.
What I mean? Like, they're like, they don't, neither
I
of them
am,
really,
that is.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you're like, you picked this. Why didn't you just make it fit better?
I know.
Change the name. But
for sure.
But then same with I am Lord Voldemort. It's always been like, Marvolo, you had to just make up a...
But like, and you know that, like, and have we discussed this before, that in France, because of the translation, he's Tom Elvis Riddle?
No.
Yeah, he's Tom Elvis Riddle in France because it doesn't work. The anagram doesn't work, basically, with Marvolo. So his middle name is Elvis.
That's so funny.
It's so good.
I wish that was standard everywhere.
I know.
Elvis. It makes him more likable, is the thing.
It's so funny. Yeah,
that's great.
Tom Elvis Riddle. Yeah, I do love me a riddle. I love an anagram less. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was really fun. And like, I think, yeah, as a kid, you're like, whoa. I loved that the riddle, I was like relieved that it didn't work, like that the sword wasn't there. Totally. A little bit, I was like, oh, this is really falling into place really nicely in a way that's a little bit boring. They just kept being like, it's over here. Oh, and then it's over here. And like, not boring, but I was like, oh, okay. And then it's going to be there. And then when it wasn't, I was like, oh, juicy. Like, yeah, now we're getting,
for sure.
It made me not bothered by how easy it was to solve because it didn't work. I also really liked, there's a moment when they were mean to Constance.
Yes.
When they're trying to solve it, and
they
then
were like,
she solves
you're
the riddle.
not gonna know what this is. You're not an expert. We're experts.
Yeah. And then she was like,
and then she's just solves it immediately. She's like, I'm a badger. I know about the moon, guys.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I felt that way about. I really enjoy the little like Matthias and Methuselah pairing. And then the two of them and Constance, like, and they're like intergenerational banter about being like old and young. Like, I really enjoyed that.
It's really cute.
It's really cute. So yeah, the riddle was really fun. I have a question because I'm audiobooking this.
Yes.
I don't know if your audiobook experience is the same. The moles talking. Are we just not meant to know what they're saying? Is it just meant to be a mystery?
They're pretty hard to... It's easier read, because I'm doing the thing, again, where I'm, like, switching off, like, audiobook versus...
Is it easier if you read?
It is easier. Like, okay, hold on. Let me find one of them. I bet I can. Because around 162 is where she solves it.
I keep doing my like happy cake dance and remembering that I'm being seen.
It's good.
My name's Ella. I dance when I eat really good food. I'm just like a little delicious.
Let's see. Now they're firing. Well, maybe I won't find it. If I do, I'll let you know. But it's a little bit easier. Not audiobook. I think that it's one of those things where I think they kind of go a little bit hard on that accent, and you're like, that's cool, but also, what is this?
Yeah, literally. Elizabeth says, hold on a minute, let me just move my thing along. Mole language, Sparrow language seems to be more like dialects of English.
Definitely.
Not their own full language. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they at a point he explains the Sparrow language, like, and because like Matthias ends up kind of learning and then like talks to them that way, and I thought that was a good like character build moment for him to be like, oh look, he like learns and he tries to kind of like respect the place he is and like communicate effectively.
Yeah. On that with Matthias, I feel like we see these, obviously. Okay, so wait, let's first talk about like the big reveal.
Yeah.
The confirmation of what we have suspected, which is that Martin is like reborn in Matthias. Right?
Yeah. Some sort of.
So
yeah.
Yeah, just peak chosen one.
Yes.
big hero narrative. Love it. So I think that also then allows, and I don't know if it's a combination of like plot and plot convenience, I think, because in those moments where Matthias, like, isn't Matthias meant to be like 13 or something? Like, he's meant to be a little kid.
Yeah, he's young.
He's young. So like in those moments where he's suddenly acting like an adult, I feel like that gets explained by it. Oh no, this is just Martin acting through him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because there were moments where he was being such a like decisive leader that I was like, you are a baby.
Yes.
how do you know to do this? But then I was like, oh, of course it's Martin.
I love when they point out his like still wearing his ill-fitting sandals sometimes. I'm like, oh, this whole time
the slap of his little feet. Yeah.
One of the other things I kept finding very funny is like the range of names in general, where it's like, I think the easiest example is like Sella, like the fox. She's like this old, she's been trading secrets, and her son, Chicken Hound. Like that they're either like and same with a lot of the rats' names, that they're either like the goofiest thing you've ever heard or like a serious like Lord of the Rings style like dramatic
100%
name. And I think it's so funny.
It's so funny. I think that like I like the Sella thing made me laugh so much as well, and I just kind of thought like Sella's parents, really creative, really literate people. Sella herself, not so bothered.
Yeah,
had too many kids, not too bothered.
Nope.
Also, she's meant to have like an how many? We don't even know how many kids she has, right? But there's like a lot.
No. I think
because at one point they refer to like her brood, so you assume there's like quite a lot of them.
Yeah,
but we never get like a number.
No.
So I kind of think like maybe her oldest kid is called like something really majestic. And by the time she got to Chicken Hound, she was like, you like chicken, I'll just call you Chicken Hound, you know?
It's the only thing he'd eat, so he's Chicken Hound.
Yeah.
But same with there's another rat that has Cheese Thief. Like, I think Cheese Thief, it's like
Cheese Thief.
What do? You steal cheese. All right. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Elizabeth. At the end of this book, when he slings his sandals over his shoulder before he leaves, so he can be quiet, because
it's so sweet.
It's so sweet. And he's growing up. It shows that he's like, I know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had a name in that naming convention, what would your name be?
Oh. That's a great question. Because it'd be like a thing when you were a kid. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably. What was I obsessed with? I was obsessed with Barney the dinosaur. So it might just be like Barney Watcher. It would be very boring.
Nice.
Yeah. What would yours be?
Barney would. Mine would probably be Temper Tantrum. Just like temper. That would just really be me. As, a rat. Temper Tantrum.
Temper is actually pretty good though.
It's quite good, yeah. Temper Tantrum. It has like a fun little rhythm to it.
Yeah.
People could call me Temper.
Yeah. I like. Maybe change your name to Temper Tantrum.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll write a character called Temper Tantrum, because that's quite funny. And I had so many of them. Like, I honestly, yeah. My mum likes to tell the story of the times that I was the toddler that would fling herself face down on the floor in a supermarket and scream. And my mum would just step over me and be like, okay, I'm leaving you then. And I'd be like, no.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I was a pretty, like, quiet kid. Like, I
yeah,
think
Temper Tantrum, Barney Watcher. I would lead you astray. I would get you in trouble.
Well, here's how I was. I often, maybe this is more on brand, I, like, had some friends that I remember being like, my mom would be like, do you want to go over there again? And I would be like, no, she's too rowdy. Like, sometimes
that's
kids
so
were,
sweet.
I think there was something, because I was an only child until I was like 8-ish. And so I was just so used to adults, I think, that sometimes I'd be around kids and I'd be like, whoa, you're really jumping off the walls here. Can we please watch Frasier like respectable people?
I mean, on the subject of jumping off the walls, Elizabeth says she might have been Energizer Bunny, which is great.
Really good.
That's a really good one. Yeah, that's really funny. So what else happens in this book?
I mean,
oh, I got so much.
much.
Should we talk about the sparrows?
Yes.
They're nuts.
They're crazy. I really liked one about this audiobook, the way that narrator does the sparrow voices. Like, he was so good at it, and that weird dialect that they give him, it made it make more sense than actually kind of the flip of the moles. Hearing it made more sense than reading it, which was interesting. Yeah, they're a little it was so funny. Also, like, had I read this before I found that sparrow in the attic, I probably would have named him Warbeak. Just because it's hilarious. And it's
so good.
Kind of nuts. Like, the way that they would accept food from me but also scream at me. Like, he did want me dead, I think. I think Pico wanted me dead.
Yeah. They're vicious little things underneath all the cute feather situation, aren't they?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jess for parkouring like nobody else.
Yes. Oh, we didn't even talk. Jess is the best.
Jess is so great. Like, the little bit where, like, the little baby quiet squirrel is, like, silently cheering her on, and I think there's a line like, no, like, nobody was better than his mother, and you're just like, yes. It's so cute.
I also, I liked, because when was this book written?
80s.
Like, I love that Jess is like the premier athlete. It's also Constance, like the two strongest, strongest and like most athletic are two female characters, and I thought that was really cool.
For sure, particularly because Cornflower is quite like damsel. She's got nice eyes.
She's got beautiful eyes, and she's very good at serving the men.
Like, she's very good at serving men. Actually, can we shout out Basil for wingmanning as well?
Yes, he really was like, here we go. I forget when. Is it when Matthias first gets back that happens?
Yeah, it's like, is it after? It's before they work out the gatehouse is the threshold. It's before that bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and he gets back from like doing some study with Methuselah, and then Basil is like, look at the way she looks at you, and she's so pretty and she's so great, and you'd be lucky to have like really just like playing Cupid.
So funny. There's also a very funny there's a line at one point that was like, Matthias watched her walk away, and I was like, does this little mouse have a nice butt? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Like,
and then like Basil's like getting like, hey, Matthias. It's so funny. Elizabeth says, not to distract this conversation, but if you haven't seen it, you should check out the anime Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater, because Emily says that their epithet would be Quiet Crafter, which I love. That's giving.
That's very
even
cool.
Like, Quiet Crafter gives Ghibli, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
I can hear the music, the theme music to like the Quiet Crafter
story,
right?
Totally.
Like,
oh, that's so fun. Okay, I'll have to add that to the list.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that scene. My next note is about Constance fighting that rat. Speaking of strong women,
she's such a badass. She's just like, nobody mess with Constance.
No,
like, what are you doing?
like, and then also, well, I guess I also want to talk about the foxes more in that regard.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I did not expect Sella to die. That was one of the ones that
right?
I was also like, oh, that.
I know, I really thought she'd be more important, I guess, like
Yeah.
later on in the story, you know?
Certainly not her
It's like
dumb
Mystic
son,
Fox.
Chicken Hound.
I know. But maybe I quite like that subversion though, because
Yeah.
obviously we're so used to seeing this sort of wily mystic fox,
Yes.
you know, that look like they're about to give you a quest, as you always say, kind of thing. So for the fox's double crossing to kind of come to naught, and then the fox that lives is like stupid.
Yeah. Yes. It is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun till it wasn't, because
Oh my god. Should we talk about it now?
are we there?
I mean, we can go back to things, but I was shocked.
I was furious.
So I wrote on my note, I didn't even add anything else. It just says Methuselah death, and then it's all caps. Because I also, when it happened, I was like, he's probably not dead though. He just knocked him over. It's very Game of Thrones, to be honest.
It's like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's so unceremonious.
Yes.
Like this wise, like who we become so attached to.
Yes.
To just be and like he's old, and so like I guess the seeds of like his age have been sort of sown, and so you know that he's maybe a little bit frailer than the others, but like it's so Game of Thrones. Like
especially it's like, no, he doesn't like die in battle or of like get sick. It's like this shitty little fox is like running away and like just like slams him with a bag of stolen goods, and then he's just dead. Like, that's the end of that character. It was crazy.
Gutted.
But also
I was really like, upset.
Cool move. As like from a writing standpoint, I was like, well, we're doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Where the stakes have been raised.
And like just the fact that like, yeah, okay, that was Elizabeth, exactly what I was about to say, that like Chicken Hunt didn't mean to kill him. It was just him being a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So sad.
It was sad. But then you do get the immediate Asmodeus on Chicken Hunt. So we'll see.
Yes.
Poetic justice, I suppose. But it didn't really feel...
It wasn't like, satisfying for me. Like,
no.
Because it didn't bring Methuselah back.
No. And, like, you know, I know an eye for an eye, but there's a small part of you that's like, yeah, but I do want Constance to kind of just, like, tear him apart.
Like, for sure.
I know it wouldn't work, but sometimes those moments do feel good. I'm just saying. Yeah, that was insane. There's someone else. Oh, and then the king, speaking of people, the Sparrow King. Also just...
Oh, yeah. Nuts.
Dead.
Just, like, just KO'd.
Yeah. But I think, this is my prediction for the future, is like, I love seeing these little, like, Matthias building these little allies with all these other creatures.
Yes, I love it too.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's so like, it's so hero's journey, isn't it? Like helping people along the way, and then you call in those favors in the last moment when all seems lost. I love it. It really scratches that itch for me.
It's my favorite part. It's why those moments are literally why I like superhero movies. And I feel like they often seem off-brand for me, and then when you find out I've seen every single Marvel movie, well, there's a few I've skipped now, but for the most part I've seen them all, and it's because I love those moments, and they always have them. It's like it's like my version. It's just like, yes, it feels so good to me when everyone comes together, and like, yes.
Yeah. For sure. It's the great thing about fantasy as a genre, really, is like the way that like just that kind of narrative threading of like these like mini bosses, almost like as if you're playing a video game, and then you fight a mini boss with someone, and then you like gain in the way that you would in a video game where you gain health points or a spell or something, you gain like an alliance and then you gain another and another.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah. This was stopping at this part was also kind of hard because I was like, no, I'm gonna wait to read anymore. But I was also like, it kind of ends pretty anticlimactically. It's like a bunch of things happen, and then it's like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. I guess.
Yeah. I like Warbeak a lot.
Me too.
Like, that relationship is really cool. Also, like, I feel like it's the first time, you know, Matthias is like threatening to dangle her over that's the first time I think we've seen Matthias be like a bit ruthless. You know, like he's having to make these tough decisions. You know, he's having to. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see that.
Yeah, and I like that. Yeah, that they were sort of just like, you're my friend. Like I'm, you know, they traveled together. They walked from Mordor
mutual
together.
Respect building.
Yeah.
You know, just like two young ones destined for great leadership.
Yeah.
Love it.
Sorry, I was looking up.
Oh, and then we've got
the shrews that show up.
The shrews,
end, which is another moment of like, yeah, I was trying to remember. I like their little the guasum, the little that they're in a little. I was trying to look up the guerrilla union of shrews and mossflower. Is their little, I thought that was very cute that they're unionized.
Yes, love it.
But yeah, it feels like that's also, and like that one he didn't have to prove as much, but it still felt the same kind of like, oh, okay, so now the shrews are like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. He's trying to fight Clooney and he's gonna go talk to the scariest creatures that we know about. Like, I thought it was cute.
Yeah. Totally. I also thought like we're starting to see Clooney unravel a bit, you know, like you think particularly at all of book one, you know, with him like advancing on Redwall and Clooney the Scourge, like you think he's this like perfect Machiavellian villain, but he isn't. He makes mistakes. He
the sun was in their eyes.
The sun in their eyes, and even just like I, having not read this, feel like all of these moments where he's like killed people as like shows of power or hasn't mourned his comrades might come back to bite him in the end, because obviously like he isn't loyal, and I feel like eventually the rats are going to see that he's only out for himself, and I think he's showing that now. You know, well, so my prediction is that as the mice and the Redwallians and their allied parties gain in strength, Clooney is going to suffer from like internal factions and
because he's a fear-based leader, and that can only get you so far. Like if nobody actually cares about you, then there's actually nothing to fight for. Like it's just if you're fighting just to stay alive because you don't want your evil leader to kill you, that's different. So
totally.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm so excited to see like what the big climax is and how you know.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's very interesting how like Matthias, for most of the biggest like the big like battles and things going on at Redwall, he's gone for. Like there keeps being all these things happening and he's not, the tapestry and like all of those things. And so it'll be interesting to see like all of everything come together in that respect too. But yeah. Elizabeth's just
there's something really that is satisfying though, getting that second moment of like the moment where he finds everything out is so satisfying to read, you know?
Yeah.
So that will be cool.
Yeah. Still love Basil. I love their whole. Oh yeah, we didn't really talk. Like we talked about Jess, but their whole little plan to get the tapestry back was so fun.
Yeah. A little side quest.
Yeah, it really was, and it was really fun. Because there was also a good amount of stakes. Like when Basil hurts his foot, I was like, they can't do this to me. I can't take Basil's death. And then it was just.
And that is the thing with this is like you don't know, because obviously like Seller and Chicken Hound were like, what did Clooney do to them? He like he stabbed them or something like that, didn't he? Like
they throw them over. He like sends them away, and then I think he pushes them over a like
into a ditch,
and it kills Sella, but
yeah. So like it's interesting. Is it just the push? Does he do something else to them?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but like it's wild how like something like a fall can kill somebody and not somebody else. So when you hear about somebody getting slightly injured, you're like, is this going to be the moment that they turn around and be like, oh,
yes.
they didn't survive their injuries?
Yes.
You know? So the stakes are always so like,
yeah,
nothing is ever, you can never take anything for granted.
Yes, because he did a good job, I guess, sort of in that Game of Thrones way. He's kind of set up that like, oh, people can die in this. And once you kind of like open that box, I feel like it all starts being like every little moment like that is scarier. Because you're like, oh no, like if it doesn't go perfectly, this character could die. And I think had you not had that first murder of what's the weasel's name?
Scrag? No.
Scrag.
Yeah, Scrag.
Had you not
because Scrag the first one. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's like other people kind of, you know, Clooney does like his like whip thing, but that's the first like
named character.
I think, unless I'm wrong, but
I think in book one there are like rats that can like pushes off the cart and stuff.
Yeah. But this felt much more like because also it wasn't Clooney, and I think that was interesting too. It was like Scrag falls, and then they like smash his head with a rock. Like so like the stakes immediately. You're like, oh, like there we're going for it.
Savage.
Yeah. It's also funny how I was just thinking about the foxes again, and how like I've talked about how I love foxes, and like this book really is like, I don't like these foxes. These are, yes. Oh God. I guess same with rats, but weirdly I was like, they kill a beloved character and then they die. It's just it's a rough ride for foxes in this book.
It is. Can I tell you my predictions?
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen. So I do think ultimately like Team Redwall are going to win. Because there are so many more books. It's like the next like 16 books aren't called like Clooney 2, Clooney 3. So that's my assumption. I think that Matthias and Cornflower will get together.
Yeah, they'll kiss for sure, right?
They'll absolutely, they have to. Yeah. I think like Basil is gonna have some like seriously like daring moment in battle, but like be like dangerously injured.
Okay.
And then I think afterwards he'll go on to like train soldiers so that there's always like a bit of a standing army or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, okay, here's my question. Do you think, because I agree, because I read this, so I don't remember what happens at all. Do you think, even if Redwall wins, do you think that Clooney dies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Clooney dies. I think Clooney's gonna die, and I think he's gonna take the abbot with him.
Ooh.
And I hate to say, because it's like it's giving like, it's like Voldemort and Dumbledore. You know what I mean? Like you can't. And we've already lost Methuselah. Like I feel like that abbot is gonna have to, because it just.
I could see that.
You know, you because for Matthias to become like the great leader he's clearly destined to be, it kind of has to be like Mufasa and Simba. You know what I mean? Like you pass on the baton to the young. So I think we're gonna lose the abbot.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering
but I think Clooney will also.
Yeah. Because
I think Constance should become the new abbot.
Oh my God, that'd be so cool.
It'd be so cool. That's my feeling on that.
Yeah. I'm also interested to see how Asmodeus plays into all of this. Like, there's a lot of teasing with the snake, and so we know something is coming. I mean, he's also killed already, but I'm interested to see, because, like, Clooney dying from Asmodeus doesn't actually feel that satisfying necessarily.
No.
Maybe it will if that's what happened. I don't know.
It's like, like back to Game of Thrones again, you know,
Yeah.
towards the end of the final season, it was like, who is the final boss going to be? Is it going to be Cersei or is it going to be the White Walkers? And I feel that way with Claudius
Yeah.
Lodius. I'm like,
Yes.
which one is the final boss?
Yeah.
And I think it's, I mean, we can talk about all the issues with the ending of Game of Thrones another day.
Oh my God.
But
I mean, we need a full hour for that.
We would need so much longer. But I think it would be quite like satisfying and like narratively interesting if they like defeat Clooney without the sword and then still have to somehow get, do you know what I mean? Like still have to face the actor somehow, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
maybe that's where this sword comes to play or whatever. Yeah, that's
interesting. Yeah, I mean, because it would make sense obviously to get the sword. To defeat Clooney you need the sword.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Also, we have been watching on your recommendation. We've been watching House of the Dragon finally, and I'm having fun.
It's so fun, isn't it? It's so fun.
I will say, like because now we're on season 2 now.
Okay,
so we're trying to catch up, but the first episode is a little rough.
Yeah, it's a lot rough.
It's a lot, and it felt to me to a point when now I know what people are talking about, where it's like not the kind of rough I thought it would be, but a little bit felt like they were trying to prove that they were like, we're just like Game of Thrones, yeah, we're crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then like weirdly after that, I was like, okay, now I'm here. But like, there's at first I was like, I don't know,
it was like a hazing.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so. It was a lot. Yeah, it was just a lot. It was so much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Emily also just started House of the Dragon. Just finished season 1. Same. Yes. It's not as polished. Agreed. It's like, it's still fun, and it at least kind of like, you're right. The dragons are so fun. Like it's so cool to have them as like, yeah, as main characters, and then the time jump also. Yeah. I thought not on purpose, but I accidentally saw when I was trying to look up who was in the cast, someone was credited as young, like someone. And so I kind of had like a little bit of a spoiler for the time jump because of that. And I was like, oh, young, like they don't usually do that. But it was jarring, especially because I'm already kind of face blind. And so I really have to like remember characters, like,
yeah,
like I find traits to remember them by. And then when you do a time jump and those are gone, I'm always like, oh no, who's this now?
It's also funny to me with the time jump because, like, for example, like Rhaenyra, like Millie Alcott is like, I think she's like 25 or 26, and then Emma Darcy is like 30, and it's just funny that they're playing an older version of a character and who's at like 4 years. You know I mean?
Yeah, and like who gets recast and who doesn't is it's like only the women really, but it's, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Exactly.
Matt Smith's still Matt Smith. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like Kristen Cole is still Kristen Cole. You know what I mean? Like they don't
always look the same. Okay.
Yeah, I guess men don't age apparently. I think you could probably make an argument that it's supposed to be about the like big changes that they go through in that time because they're kind of our protagonists, aren't they? Like Rhaenyra and Alicent are our protagonists. Yeah. So I can see the logic for that, but
yeah.
I'm enjoying the performances from all the central cast, you know, like I think everyone is really strong.
Yeah,
so
it's really fun. So yeah, I've also, you know, we'll see. We're stopped at such a crazy part too, where I'm kind of like, oh, I have to be watching.
What episode are you at?
That's a great question. I don't remember if it's 1 or 2 of season 2, but I don't want to say spoilers on this thing. In case but
I'm trying to think of like a non-spoilery thing to say. Have you had a funeral scene yet? A big funeral scene?
Yes.
Funeral procession, I might say.
I don't know.
Okay, so you haven't because you'd remember. So okay, right, you're not that.
Okay,
to
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna say
okay, cool. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, I'm just okay. Yeah, I could spend a whole hour talking about the treatment of women in the show and on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Another day. This is Comfort Creatures.
Another day.
Yes, not
maybe
mad. Exactly.
maybe for bonus content in the future, we'll do a Game of Thrones, a House of Dragon chat
rant.
where we talk about the treatment of women, and we'll do that instead.
It's a lot to unpack.
So much to say.
I would need a lot more wine than this cup, I think. We're gonna have to do that one later in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in conclusion, book 2.
In conclusion,
overall thoughts.
R.I.P. Methuselah. I'm really sad to have lost you. Go off, Matthias. You're becoming the man we always knew you could be. Constance is queen forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
anything to add?
Not really. Those are the highlights, I think. And also just like overall stakes have been raised. Exciting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
If you could be any of the characters just solely based on book 2, who would you want to be?
Ooh. I think it might be Jess.
I was literally going to say Jess as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's my hero of this book, I think, actually.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Constance is awesome, but Jess is doing... I don't know. I really like her.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just something profoundly cool about her, like, you know, having all these kids and, like, dealing with, like, that, and then also being like, yeah, I got this, don't worry.
Yeah.
You know?
And, like, I really felt for her when she sees Matthias fall. Like, I was like, there's a lot on her shoulders.
There is.
She's doing her best. But yeah, with that,
she's handling it all so gracefully, isn't she?
Like, and like her climbing up to get the sword that wasn't there. I think that moment, like just how she was like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, okay,
for sure. And then when she gets back down, having been like dive bombed by all the sparrows, she's just like, God, they're vicious, aren't they? Like so chilled. Queen.
Best son. Just a tiny little son with his little dagger that Basil gives him. It's so cute.
It's so cute.
Also, this is the thing. Horrifying that half of the Sparrow King's beak was in Matthias's shoulder.
Horrifying.
Ugh. Didn't like
Disgusting.
That. Disgusting.
Yeah, not a fan.
No.
Not a fan. I'm just really enjoying the community of this story.
Yeah,
like all those little scenes, all those little in-between scenes where everyone's like sat around eating or having a laugh, or all those little moments like Basil giving little Sam the dagger and then them like thanking him and him like playing around with it. Like it's just lovely. It's so wholesome.
Really cute. And also does a good, you really care about Redwall, so you're like, get these mean rats out of here.
Honestly.
Yeah. I think
cool.
That's all I had. Yeah.
Me too.
Thank
it's
you.
now dark here.
Yeah, so. I love watching the lights go down behind you. Thank you everyone who joined us. This was super fun.
Yes.
And we'll do part 3 in the future. I don't have a date for that yet, but we will.
Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to us. Yeah. We're 100 years old. Okay. Bye everyone.
Bye guys.